and welcome back to another episode of On the Couch, the show meant for you. And on the couch with me today is Lee Smith.
Yes, we're here to answer your questions, anything that you want to throw at us. Well, anything related to PRLB and potentially plumbing, not any other question. But keep those communications coming. And today we're going to delve in a couple of questions that have been sent through to us. Molly, how can they send us questions again?
They can send voice notes via WhatsApp, or they can send an email to communication@prb.co.za.
Yeah, and we welcome them because
Yes.
I mean, it's important that we want to.
Yeah, all those questions that you don't know where to ask them here.
So I concur with you. We encourage them to ask questions so we can break those misconceptions down, and get it. And what's important is get it straight from the horse's mouth. What I mean by the horse's mouth is I mean myself as the chairperson of the PRLB and yourself as the operations manager. And as you know, every week we got different people sitting on the couch here, And so it's not just from any Tom, Dick and Harry on the ground there, because that's what we tend to find. We tend to find that one person listens to somebody and that information is correct, and then that information is passed on, and then something is added to it and passed on. And it's amazing, nobody ever comes back and actually ask if that answer was correct.
To check the facts, because these questions get asked next to a braai,
100%.
usually.
That's right, 100%. And that you tend to find that person who's supposedly in the know is actually not in the know, but they come across with such authority that everybody thinks, oh, this person knows what he's talking about, and therefore hold it. So we always encourage everybody, don't just accept the answer, go and check the facts, back it up, and concur with us the response that you have.
Yes, definitely. So without wasting any more time...
Are you wasting time?
I was just checking out.
Anyway, let's delve into the first question.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is Fana. I have a company name. My company name is Fana Plumbing. My PRB rec number is 8832-21. My question is, if I get 100 units and they want me to issue a plumbing COC, should I issue 100 units for each unit? Should I issue 100 COC for each unit? That is my question to plumbing board. Thank you.
Okay. So the answer, straightforward, is yes. You need to issue 100 COCs for those units. Now it might sound, well, why must I issue it like that? The reason why is because those 100 units are in turn given to a consumer or passed on to a consumer. And therefore that right in that unit is passed on to that consumer, and therefore that certificate who is given to the end user, and the accountability or the COC is for that specific person. So therefore that certificate gets passed on with the unit itself. So yes, you have to issue a certificate for each unit. I will add, Malise, that we do have in some cases, if the plumber or the individual is asking for a bulk discount, they can approach the PRLB, put it in writing, substantiate it, and we can consider looking at that specific thing.
And I know from time to time it happens that the 100 units will belong to one owner. Then they sometimes ask for one COC instead of the different COCs, but we need to remember that those units can be sold, or different people will be staying in those units.
Correct.
And it makes it so much easier for the individual if they have a separate COC.
That's correct, 100%. Cool. Okay. Great. What's the next question, Malise?
I think it's yours.
So, this is my question. It's from Ryan. And Ryan asks, on the 1st of December, 2022, I had 7.75 CPD points. How can these have just disappeared?
They didn't disappear. They are still on your name. Our process just changed. So we have a reward system now where you can get rewarded for the points that you do get through continuous professional development. So you still keep your knowledge, you keep your points that you have gained through the years, but it will, on the leaderboard side, on the reward side, it will start declining over a certain amount of time. If you think about it like a heartbeat, it's your heartbeat of knowledge. Every time you do something, it spikes, and then when you stop doing things, it goes down a bit. So every time you do something and it drops, and you do something and it drops. So it won't stay there the whole time. You need to continuously do something in order to have your points.
Yeah, I think 100%, Marlies, but I think we need to look at the fact that the points is not the issue. It's the knowledge that is the issue. So your knowledge, like you said, doesn't decline. Once you've got that knowledge through continuous professional development, your knowledge always remains with you. It's not as though I can, if I've got knowledge and I leave somewhere from an employer or whatever it is, that brain has been removed from my head and then given to somebody else in that equation. So therefore, and we must understand that CPD is a byproduct of what we do naturally. And hence, because you receive points, so what we mean by that is, or what I mean by that is that when I do learnings and educate myself and upskill myself, we reward you, or one for a better word, we align it to CPD points. But if those CPD points go away, it doesn't mean as though the knowledge goes away. What the CPD points are is they're linked to the reward system, as you indicated, Marlies, and which was introduced now in December.
March.
Yeah, it started phasing over since December,
Yes.
but officially launched in
March.
Yeah. And remind us about what exactly do those CPD points, this reward system, how does it work?
So the reward system, it's actually just what it is. It's a reward system, whereas it was a punitive system previously, you now get rewarded. So depending on which level you are on, you will get specific discounts for the different levels. That is on COCs, registrations, and other rewards that's available from shirts to
discounts on service providers, training,
there
all
are
that
so
stuff.
many.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a very good example is, let's think about the vitality points. The vitality points which Discovery gives you. And they didn't pay for that. And think about your Clicks card and whatever it is. You get rewarded for doing, in this case, in Clicks' case, you will get rewarded for shopping at Clicks.
Yes.
In our case, you're getting rewarded. Your reward is your CPD points, but the overarching reward is to the industry, because the whole industry is being uplifted and being educated, which is a very, very important factor. Everybody thinks, and we're really going to get stuck into the CPD again, but, everybody thinks that, why must I do CPD? Yeah. I understand. Yeah, well, CPD is, as I said, it's a natural process, or we naturally learn. The CPD points and the rewards that get attached to it is a byproduct of them. But then what people forget is, as an industry, if the whole industry educates itself, we uplift the whole industry together. And that's what CPD is about. It's not about you as an individual. Yes, it is about you, but from our perspective, it's about you, but also as the industry at large. Yeah. So get involved with the rewards program. There's a lot of information on the website about the reward system.
Yes.
And as you indicated, was it Ryan? Yeah, it was Ryan. As with anything, the rewards start declining. Sorry, your points start declining because you need to top them up, like you said, with your heartbeat. And the more you top it up, the higher you go, the better the rewards will be for you.
And it sounds silly, like the points are declining, but your reward is never declining, because the reward is still the knowledge that you've gained. Yes. That you will always have. It's just the physical reward of a discount that is declining at that stage, unless you are doing CPD points and getting to an higher level.
Yeah, but it's on the website. Go and have a look at it. www.prb. Go and follow the links to the CPD rewards program. And it's pretty straightforward from there, from that point of view. Anyway, yeah. I think with that said, we're going to take a break.
Good day. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm here to log in my COCs, but I seem to be having an issue with my computer.
No problem. But did you know that you can log your COCs using an app on your cell phone?
Oh, what app is that?
It's called the App Plumber. Do you have a smartphone with you?
Yes, I do.
Oh well, let me show you how it works.
Not only can you access your PRB profile on the App Plumber, but you can also earn CPD points while exploring the plumbing industry in the palm of your hand. Download the app from Google Play Store and join thousands of other happy users.
Welcome back. We have another question from Innocent.
I renew my PRV on 1 year. If you start at January, then you're gonna renew in January next year. So you renew the PRV on the date you register the PRV.
When he says, just to get my understanding, Malise, and I'm sure you'll be able to answer this one, is that when a person registers, if I understand you correctly, when a person registers with the PRRB, they register, let's say, on the 1st of July, and he's asking when he re-registers, does he have to re-register on the same day as the 1st of July?
No, you don't have to. But if you stick to the date, then there will not be an admin fee. So if you renew before your registration lapses, then it's easy. You go through and you know it will also always be active and you won't have any issues. But if you wait for it to expire, there is an admin fee that needs to be paid in order to reactivate you on the system.
Yeah, so again, let's use the analogy. So if I register on the 1st of July, come the next year, I need to re-register before the 1st of July,
yes,
or coming up to my renewal period.
Yes.
And then I think there's a grace period afterwards, a slight grace period.
No, not anymore.
And the reason why that is because there's an additional admin fee posted, because we have to now go and reactivate the thing. It's an additional step that is involved, an administrative process that involved in that specific thing.
That's correct. But you will start receiving communications from us about 3 months before to notify you of your expiry date.
Yeah, so that's a very important thing, is that the notifications are sent
Yes.
out, you get informed. Obviously, a lot of people don't. And why don't they do that?
We don't like reading.
We don't like reading. We don't like checking our communications. And also the fact that they keep changing their email addresses or their cell phone numbers.
And that's very important. Please update those details. Send it through to us if anything changes. Because if you can't get hold of you, then unfortunately those admin fees are going to start creeping in.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, it's like anything else in life. If we can't get hold of you, or we need to communicate to you, how the hell do we get hold of you if your communications? And it's critical that information is kept up to date on a yearly basis when you re-register, because you get your information sent through to you and it tells you to check that information, or if and when that information is changed. And 9 times out of 10, it is because either the plumber doesn't, not even 9 times out of 10, 99.999% is because the information was incorrect, the communications were not read, etc., etc.
Mostly, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very important that we keep those those details up to date, so you get the right information at the right time. Good. Right here, so we move on to the next question, and this is from Christine. How do I go about registering my company with the PRRB?
That's actually quite easy.
That's a pretty simple one. How do you do that, Malise?
You can go to www.prb.co.za. That's our website. And you'll see that you can register your company there, same way you register individual. Just remember to actually add an individual, a qualified plumber, to your company.
Yes.
Link that person, otherwise you will not be able to purchase the COCs.
That's correct. And what do you mean by, so let's just be clear, when you say purchase the COCs, or you're making reference to the company now?
Yes.
So the company purchases the COCs, and then they can allocate it to the respective licensed plumber.
Yes, and that works so well when you have more than one a licensed plumber in your employment. So then you can decide who you want to give those COCs to instead of just having it on one person's name.
That's correct,
yeah.
100%. And I think it's also very important that for the people to know, all the plumbers out there, is that by putting your company onto the PRRB's or registering your company with the PRRB, it also goes onto the database when consumers are searching for plumbers in the industry. Because we don't necessarily do a search on licensed plumbers. We verify licensed plumbers, but the consumers look for companies when they engage with us, because the consumer engages with a company, not necessarily a licensed plumber.
Yes. And that's also available on the website.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%. So, Christine, just to remind, and all the other plumbers out there, please go to PRRB's website and you just simply follow the links to register a company. It's pretty straightforward. And as Marlies indicated earlier on, what's very important is that you've got to have a licensed plumber linked to your company. So the licensed plumber therefore has to be registered first, then go and register your company from that point of view. Cool. With that said, I think we're going to go to another ad break.
Yes.
See you back soon. But remember, keep those questions coming by WhatsApping us. So WhatsApping us,
WhatsApp,
SMSing, emailing, whatever it is, we collate them and then we put them forward to the people on the couch. See you soon.
It's an exciting time to be a professionally registered plumber. The PIRB's leaderboard provides plumbers with the opportunity to be placed onto a ranking system to see how they perform amongst their peers around the country. This ranking system enables both plumbers and consumers to identify top local plumbers and monitor their performance nationally and regionally. Consumers will always look for the best, and at the top is where you'd want to be. It is therefore very important to be dedicated to continuously upskilling yourself through continuous professional development activities. The CPD points you accumulate during the CPD program will allow you to be rated on the leaderboard as you grow. The ranking system runs on a 3-month rolling average, where you can find yourself at the very top by accumulating more points than your peers. Top-ranked plumbers also stand a chance to win prizes through a lucky draw, where winners are announced on the PIRB's Plumbing 101 shows on YouTube. Do not miss out on the opportunity to be highlighted as an elite plumber in South Africa. Start accumulating points and become one of the best. Get skilled, get rewarded.
Being part of an industry professional body is a personal decision.
To those who take pride in their trade, it stretches far beyond having a status of being licensed to issue certificates of compliance.
To them, the consumer matters.
As part of the plumbing industry, you help to bring the most valuable commodity to civilization. Water is life.
Be sure to continue to reap the benefits of being a proudly PIRB registered plumber by continually renewing your registration.
So, welcome back from the ad break. So let's dive into the last question for today, Marlies. And this question comes from a plumber called Wynand.
Hi, good afternoon. On the couch, I love your show. I wish there was more of them. It's very informative. I just got one quick question. The PIRB. Got a couple of emails now from the WACC South Africa who say they're doing the same thing, and they also do a lot of things telling me about SABS, ACNS, and all of that stuff. Are they legit or not? What's happening over here? My last question, when is our COCs from the PIRB going to pertain the whole house? That I can give a COC on an existing build, not on a new build, existing build. I've got a lot of troubles over there because I'm very big in maintenance, so it's always a problem. Thank you guys. Keep up the good work, man. Cheers, I back.
So the first question, we won't know. You will have to contact WAC and check with them if that COC is valid or not. We can only check PRB COCs. You'll see on the PRB COC we have a unique number where we can check and make sure it's a valid COC, if that COC was issued to a consumer, whether it was logged, and it can then be audited.
Correct, 100%. I think let's also look at it from the point of view, we don't know what legit means. So what does legit mean? So how does something become legitimate? You know, so legitimate is either through a legislation, acts or regulations from that point of view, or if you want to put it in the eye of the consumer, if you want to put it that way, you know, because the problem with any COC is the accountability and the accreditation process behind it. Because, again, like I said, it's in the eye of the beholder. So if I'm a plumber out there and I want to issue my own COC, well, is that legit? It's legit in my eyes, and the consumer might see the legitimacy in my eyes, you know, from that point of view. However, insofar as a COC, I think what's very important to understand, and I'm repeating myself and I'm going to emphasize it, is you got to look at about what is behind that.
Yes.
Because ultimately, a COC is literally a piece of paper. There it is. It's nothing more than a piece of paper. It's what holds that paper up, and the accountability that, or the redress that can be done on that specific
So the actual
paper.
question is, what does that piece of paper mean to the consumer? How can that help you as the consumer at the end of the day?
That's it, correct. And that's what's very important about that specific thing. So we can't, as Marlies says, we can't talk about the WAC COC. What we can talk about is we can talk about the professional body COC and the legitimacy behind that specific, from our perspective, what that accountability, the whole redress, and the fact that the PRRB is a recognized, registered professional body in terms of the SAQA Act. And I think that's where the legitimacy comes from. I must add, Marlies, that a lot of people are questioning, you know, let's be clear that the question also could lead from the fact that we know that the COC was removed from SANS 10254, and we as an industry are working towards introducing it into regulations. A certificate of compliance into regulations. But again, I repeat myself, it will then have credibility behind that COC, be it from whoever organization issues it, that will be recognized by the various regulatory departments, etc., etc. But it's a whole lot of, you know, again, it goes back to what does that piece of paper carry? That's the most important thing behind it.
Yes.
So if they want to check it out, they need to go and find out.
Contact WAC.
Contact WAC, go and find out from that point of view. So we can't talk on behalf of their
It's the same with any other COC, whether it's municipal COCs or WAC COCs. Just check with the source.
Correct, 100%. I mean, what happens next? So we're going to have geyser manufacturers now issuing COCs. Are they legit? Well, can't debate if legit or not, depending on what you deem as legitimacy. But so what does it mean? What does the piece of paper mean?
What's the benefit behind it?
Correct, 100%.
Exactly.
Then he also asks, Wynand asks, on this, not on the same vein, will the COC pertaining to the whole house, will that be coming about? And then he also says he wants to be able to give a COC on an existing building. So at the moment, you are able to give your certificate on a sale of a property or on an existing building. It can be done. You may issue it. However, we caution you insofar as giving that specific COC, not necessarily from giving it, but more so making sure that you have checked everything in that building or that house, because the reality is that you will be held accountable for that installation. And that's why non-compliance becomes an important part of your certificate. Whereas you might be doing something in the house, and in this case they're signing it off. You're giving the client the certificate of compliance, but you're notifying all the non-compliance on that specific, and notifying the homeowner that there is non-compliance on this. Just highlighting. It's a very dangerous field to tread in, but it can be done.
And then just also remember that there might be two COCs. The one is the municipality one, depending on your municipal area, where that COC is between the plumber and the municipality for the sale of the property, whereas the PRB COC will be between you, the plumber, and the consumer.
Yeah, very important point there is that, and there's a lot of times where a lot of people asking us that, but there's a municipal COC, and we say yes, 100%. We acknowledge that, and just for noting, as far as we know, that is on a sale of a property that is only one municipality out of the 270 odd municipalities in the whole country that issues a COC on the sale of a property. But like you said, that COC is between the plumber and the municipality.
Yes.
Whereas the PRRB certificate is between, and very important, the PRRB certificate, the piece of paper, and the accountability and the redress behind that specific thing, and the person with the continuous professional development knowledge and the professionalism, that piece of paper is between the plumber
and the consumer.
And therefore the consumer has the redress against that certificate, if you want to put it that way.
Yes.
Cool. Great, Marlies. I think that was our last question.
Yes, I think it was.
Yes. You want to wrap up?
No, can you do that, please?
Must I wrap up now? Right. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining me on the couch. Or I don't know if I joined you. I don't know.
Either way.
Either way. But as we said in the beginning, keep those questions coming. Please send them in. We'd love to answer them. We'd love you to get it from the horse's mouth. And I said, hopefully I said in the beginning that they need to go and check the, just fact check.
Yes, definitely.
Hopefully we don't have to be fact checked, Marlies. But with that said, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.